Hi guys. On April 29th, 2019, at the age of 36 years old, I was officially diagnosed as an autistic female. And I would like to share with you some light bulb moments that have happened in the last couple of years where I realized, like, oh my goodness, that's an ASD thing. So here we go. Cats are a sensory thing for me. I love that they're so soft, and they purr, and they're warm, and they're weight, and I love that they need their paws. Oh, I love he nuzzles, he nuzzles. Oh, he loves his little nose nuzzled. Yes. Oh, baby. Sweet baby. He's such a cuddle bug. Oh yes, and I mimic noises and I make animal noises and stuff. Yes. Oh, meow. Meow, meow. If somebody makes a weird noise, or if they say a word that is intriguing to me, or if they make a funky noise, I will imitate it. I will mimic it, and it is not to be rude. I know it comes across that way, and I either say I'm sorry if I can tell that they are not happy with being repeated, or we'll turn it into something like a joke. So I try to read the other person's expression and see what happens when I do that, but I know I do that. So at least now, because I've been diagnosed and I know that this is a thing, I can be more aware that I'm doing it. Oh, also things like another mimic. I don't do this all the time. All of these mimics and repetition and stuff, they aren't a constant. They come in many forms. Like sometimes they're verbal, sometimes they're physical, sometimes like if someone is skipping, I want to skip to the exact same feet. Or like we're watching TV, my feet sometimes start stepping to the same steps of the people on the screen. It's very interesting to notice these little stims. Now that I know that they're called stims, I used to just call them tics, like it was just this thing that I just did. But now that I know that it's an actual thing, and that's why I do it, it's actually kind of cool to know that. I take offense to something that I worked on really hard or took a lot of energy on. And if someone like belittles it and says, oh, you know, that looked easy, or that couldn't have taken much time or energy or whatever, I take a lot of offense to that, because especially if it's something that means something to me and they just like, oh, okay, whatever. It's like, you know what? You have no idea. And sometimes I do cry from that, depending on how heightened my emotions are, how on edge I might be, how tired I might be. Let's see, it's hard for me to know my emotions without journaling them first. Sometimes even then, like I have to read them out loud or say them out loud or ask myself if that's correct, like if that's the right emotion. I'll try to get it as close to feeling like right about, yes, that's the emotion. But that's something called alexithymia. Not knowing emotions, not understanding emotions, not being able to name them or understand what you're feeling. I love to be in nature. The smells, the feels, the sounds, the breeze, the light and shade. I love natural lighting. Digging. I love digging. I love to dig into the dirt and just get my hands dirty and feel it and smell it, and beautifying my yard, being able to beautify nature, clean it up, like pick up trash or like get rid of weeds, just really clean something up and make it look better. It really, it's a huge deal to me. It's like therapy. Because I feel a huge connection to nature. And I have a feeling it's because, maybe not because of, but there is evidence, studies, truth to the fact that autistics generally have a stronger connection to things outside of the physical world. A lot of times autistics can connect to spiritual things a lot easier. There's just a deeper, life is deeper and more complex for neurodiverse people, and that's one way that it's deeper and more complex. Nature helps me think more clearly and center myself. Let's see here. If I laugh and nod my head while someone's talking, like I might like do a little giggle or like nod my head like I'm agreeing with them, but it's helping me process. I'm not actually nodding in agreement necessarily. Saying I'm processing that. So if you ask me a question, I don't know is actually a real answer for me. Because either in that moment or in general, I might literally not know. So, yeah. I don't believe in things that can't be proven to be real or true. Relationships have to be an internal connection for me to really feel like they're worthwhile or real. Surface relationships take too much energy and time because there's too much doubt and anxiety. It just really saps me. Too many what ifs and do I have to's and what's the protocol, and not knowing the person, like meeting someone new is very intimidating. So unless we have a connection or some depth in our relationship, it's kind of like small talk. Small talk is just, it's anxiety provoking, it's confusing, it's awkward, and it feels unnecessary. I notice little things, lots of little things, like lines in the table or like veins in leaves. This necklace, when I was reviewing this for the company, I noticed there's all kinds of little details to this, and most people would just be like, oh, it's 2 cute little rings, one's got gemstones on it. But did you notice like the little, on this one, there's like little Roman numerals, and this one is thinner than the other one. And this chain is actually very, very short. And for some reason, the extra chain in the back is quite long compared to other ones. So little things like that people don't even think about, really. If you've ever looked at your hand and noticed that your fingers are actually not straight, They all have a curve to them. Nail polish colors and designs, noticing people's tattoos. Let's see. Clothing materials, voice fluctuations. Tiny mushrooms in the moss on trees. Oh, they're so gorgeous. It's like this ethereal little otherworldly thing going on. If you look in the moss on trees, you will find these itty bitty little mushrooms. It's like this whole other ecosystem. It's amazing. I'm a very creative thinker, very creative person. Nail polish, decor, writing, crafts, all kinds of crafts. Like there's so many crafts. And I like to get my hands in like most of them, a lot of them. This one might sound controversial. I don't dislike being a parent. I dislike parenting. It's hard enough to be in charge of my own life. I don't feel capable of being in charge of other people. I'm not good at allocating or being a leader. So, it's not, I love my kids. I love my family. I enjoy them as separate people. But I'm not good at being in charge or making a plan for other people. I'm okay with making a plan for myself, or maybe for myself and my husband, but especially as they grow and they change and they like, oh, I like this now. Oh, I like this now. Can we make this? It's like, what's going on? I like coloring pages. I like adult coloring books, dot-to-dots, puzzles, word games. I don't like general like board games, card games, anything that can get chaotic, anything that doesn't have a structure to it. I like these things, coloring books, puzzles, and games and stuff, because they use my practical, logical mind. I say a lot. I say a lot. But it's because that's the space of processing between one thought and another thought. And it's awkward to have a silent space, so we say There is, when there's something that we feel we have to verbalize, stifling that actually makes us feel incomplete. So like if we don't say or if we don't mimic, or if we don't stem, there's actually this like awkward, incomplete feeling of something not right, like in our chest. Like we have to get it off. We have to get it out. I make a lot of expressive faces, and because I have EDS, my face is very stretchy. So on top of my face being expressive, it's also, I feel like it's like Jim Carrey-ish, which he actually has some type of connective tissue issue thing too, but we don't know what it is. At least it's not well known. But the thing is, also, the faces we make don't always actually, I'm gonna guess half the time, if you ask my husband, it's probably about half the time, the face I make doesn't match the situation, and it might not even match my emotions. So just because somebody makes a face doesn't mean it has anything to do with what's going on. It could just be some like emotion that just kind of like, at the moment. My husband actually made an observation yesterday about the slate pieces around my garden. I get the satisfaction and feeling of accomplishment and being refreshed by making it feel and look complete and attractive and just like everything is where it belongs. Oh, I have to be able to take notes. Whenever I am in a classroom or in church, or if I'm listening to a teacher, like, what's it called? I have the word. I can see the word. What's the word? This is another thing. It drives me insane. I can see the word right here, but I can't read it. Oh, I almost said it. Lecture. I have to have a notepad or something to write on. I can't not do it. I have to be able to write down everything that makes sense to me, everything that sticks out, anything that I want to study, anything that I want to go over again, especially at a live event, because you can't reverse, you can't go back, you can't pause. So it's critical for me to have a little notebook or a program or something like that. Do bangs trigger any sensitive aversions? Sometimes they do. They bug my skin, then I pull them back. As soon as I feel them touching my eyebrows, they get trimmed. I never thought it was sensory, it was just irritating. I loved my hair in high school with no bangs. Straps on bras, itchy seams, a ponytail. If I put my hair in a ponytail and my hair is the wrong length, it bugs the crap out of me constantly. I don't wear a lot of ponytails most of the time, except for just a funky little bun thing. Being productive helps me get out of a negative stuck. So it's not a performance issue, it's a sensory overload issue. My main stim is running my hands across my face, and then I have more skin breakouts. Happened all the time in high school and middle school. Come to find out, I also have something called seborrheic dermatitis. So with my stim being touching my face and getting little breakouts that aren't acne related, they're like dry skin, I will pick at them too. So I have scars. If I'm overloaded, I am more demanding. I didn't have as many sensory issues growing up because 1, I wore tights, 2, I had corduroy pants, which are so soft. I could pet them and it wasn't like a thing. Turtlenecks. Alone time, I got a lot of alone time. I was in my bedroom a lot. We had cats. I was outdoor a lot of times. I was in sports, I was in music, and I journaled a lot, so a lot of writing. When I get overstimulated, I cry. Crying helps me process. I've always had plenty of clothes, but I only wear a few certain favorite items. I appreciate acoustic over electric because I appreciate the simplicity of hymns, the depth of the music, being able to hear and differentiate between instruments and how they combine. Music being an integral part of who I am, I prefer to be able to understand instruments that I have either played myself or felt with my own hands. I have played piano, I have played flute, I have played guitar, and I have done voice. And now I'm fine. I don't do any of them really anymore. I have a piano. I gave my guitar away to the church to use. I still have my flute. One of my kids actually used it. And obviously I have my voice anywhere I go, but I don't really sing a lot anymore. I like to be able to see the face with the voice, seeing and feeling the emotion behind the music. Or even talking. Like, I've tried to listen to audiobooks, When I'm in classes, I like to have somebody talking or a visual aid like slides. I can't just listen to a voice. There has to be some kind of hands-on with it. I like YouTube videos. Different vibrations of different things. The vibration of sports, basketball, soccer, track, running, biking, rollerblading, roller skating. My husband played drums. I love ink blot art because it's perfectly imperfect. I love abstract art because there is no right answer. It is what you make of it. So there's that. I only generally do one home party per business, unless it's something I really connect with, like lemongrass spa products. I love them because they're like really like natural, and I have friends that sell them, and I know how to easily get my hands on them, and they're not super expensive. Once my curiosity is satiated, I'm done and I move on. Probably also when I was a Mary Kay lady, I never did well, or any other home MLM that we tried, Amway, Diamond Quest, Fortune High Tech Marketing, my curiosity about different jobs. I've worked at many different places, and some of them it was because I was curious about what the job entailed. Dentist office, law firm, travel agencies, school supervisor, coffee shop, barista, waitress, housekeeping, circuit coach. I've done a lot of customer service, secretary type stuff. I love secretary work. I like to be helpful. I like paperwork. I like to organize. I like information. I like to give information and get information. I love to research. But just because I love to research doesn't mean you can throw a topic at me or throw a website or something at me and say, research this, please. I'm not good at it, and I really don't get into it unless it's something that's actually interesting to me. Like, I'll do it, but I feel like it's just a chore. Like, I would just be like, okay, fine, done. I've always followed rules. Probably why I excelled in, like, classrooms, school, church, home. I was always the good girl, good little girl. Basketball, volleyball, soccer, track, rules. I don't like it when people invade my space. Physically, verbally, when I'm working on something, don't touch me, don't bug me. I'm in my zone. When I'm done, we're good. This one might actually sound weird. I only wash my hands about half the time. I don't like water beating on my skin. I don't like the sensation of showers. I'll do it sometimes because I have to. But yeah. Sometimes I will wash my hands in public if I feel like I'm being watched. Or if I get some moisture on me going bathroom. But I feel like I'm being judged by my cleanliness. I'm sorry, there is a fruit fly. And it is wanting me to be its friend, and I don't want it to be its friend. I'd rather use the sanitizer in my purse than wash my hands if there's a lot of people, because it's just really anxiety provoking to try to shove my way into all these people, and it's like, I'm just gonna go out the door. I use more TP than I should because I don't like the feeling of moisture. I don't like the beach because of the sand. It's messy, it's gritty, it's everywhere. It's not firm. You walk on sand and it moves, it shifts, and that's, for one, if I'm gonna step on something, I want to step on something solid. I think that might go along with my fear of falling. And it also goes along with my chronic illnesses because my joints can come out so easy. And my right leg is shorter than my left. So if I step wrong, you know, my foot will flatten, and it's just, I don't like sand. Don't like sand. When I'm overly tired, everything is sensory overload. Sounds, touch, white noise, dishes, even sometimes trying to read is too much because I'm trying to process something and it's just, there's too much already processing. I can relate to almost everything to a song or a movie quote. Some movies, I can quote the whole movie. I always knew I was different from everyone else, but I didn't know why or how. I've always been and always will be childish and naive. The reason I like to have a tie around the middle of my sweater or my robe, for the reason I liked the Empire waist dresses. I used to like Empire waist dresses because for some reason having the pressure around that part of my body feels like security. It's safety stimulation. I've noticed I like to pull things snug around my torso. If it's a person and it, like they're hugging me, I don't really like it because people are unpredictable and I don't want them touching me in any other way. So unless I can trust them to just hug me, I won't let someone touch me. My psychology homework is crucial for me to function. Oh, this is my psychology homework. Every day I have written down things I want to do. I write on the bottom if there's a win and a joy, or win or a joy. Something can be both. And then whatever doesn't get done, I give myself grace to say that's okay, and I move it to another day. I have to have some kind of structure or plan, or I just feel like crying. I have meltdowns. Makes me want to cry because there's part of my sense of self. I don't know what to do and it scares me. Who am I? I'm not necessary. I'm out in the middle of nowhere with no direction. That's what happens when I don't have structure. That's what it feels like. Sometimes I have to do this. I have to make my psychology list, and if it still doesn't feel structured enough, I have to number them, like first thing, second thing, third thing, fourth thing. Then it can be a bit better. There are days where I seriously feel like either completely unfocused, like I have brain fog because of fibromyalgia or something, and all day long I will write down everything I do, because then I can look back and be like, I actually did some things today. Okay, it wasn't a complete bust. Because I'm a perfectionist. I get so irritated when people come into a space I'm working in or cleaning in or on and ask me how I clean and try to take over. No. If I am cleaning, you stay out of my space. I am focused on my project. If they try to tell me a different way to do it and expect me to try it right away, no. I don't do quick changes. I can't on the spot, oh, do it like this. Nope. I might try it the next time or try it another time, but it's definitely not an instant thing. Change is not a thing for me. Not an easy change. Sometimes I can try different things, like if they make sense to me, or if it's something I'm already just learning, so I can, be like, oh, maybe that would be whatever. But yeah, change is not a happy thing in the life of an autistic. When I'm in the middle of a project, being distracted is not a good thing, because when I'm very focused on something, distractions, like I can take little ones maybe here and there, but constant, like, trying to pull me away from it, or mom this, or hey, give me this, or blah, blah, blah. Eventually it gets to be too much, and I have snapped. Like, ugh, you know. I become overwhelmed with multiple people moving around in small spaces, like in the bathroom or in the kitchen. If there's a lot going on, if there's a lot of people, a lot of voices, things happening, and I'm not near a doorway, there's no escape route. I have before, a couple times, found myself balled up on the floor. Yes, because it's too much. Sometimes I mentally choose to be mute. When I have nervous energy or I feel attacked, then I can focus inside of myself and partially block out my surroundings. I've noticed for me, without some way of defining something, a word or an explanation that solidifies thoughts and actions, there's just so much unfocus and confusion in me. So even though I've noticed a lot of people don't like labels or things of that sort, it helps me thrive. Being able to label things and put names on them really helps me internally to just understand and know things better. Here's a couple things I like. I like watching coffee creamer swirl. I like watching the ripples in water. And this one's kind of funny. When we're trying to cook eggs and someone gets upset because their yolk pops, I like it when the yolk pops. I think it's kind of cool to watch it kind of like ooze and then cook. I'm really organized in my own way, I guess. Yes, I'm very organized. I like certain things in certain places, and if you mess with like my stuff, it's like, stop touching it. I put things where I want it, leave it alone. It helps me to give myself permission to do things. I have to have permission, at least internally, to do certain things. This I'm gonna do on a separate one. It's gonna take a little bit, and I have a family waiting for me to get out of here. I have a very organized garden. I have things in certain spots, so I know, like, here's my irises, here's a different type of irises, this is, you know, so my garden is kind of like a plate of food. They can butt up to the sides of each other, but they don't mix. There are 3 different types of empathy, and I don't have cognitive empathy. Too much noise or excitement in the car makes me anxious. I have 3 teenage girls, and sometimes they can get like, you know, and I'm just like, okay, guys, trying not to freak out. Guys, you need to bring it down. You need to bring it down. You need to bring it down. It's too much, and I have to listen to things around me, and this is not safe for me to drive because there's too much going on, so you need to bring it down. If my kids ask, oh, can we do this? Can we go here? Can we blah, blah, blah? I have to schedule it. I very rarely can just go do something on a whim. Now, if it's something that I think of doing, like, oh, you know, the thing is, even if I think of doing it, there has to be something solid about it. It has to be like, oh, I know the skatery's open right now. I do like a mental check. Do we have cash on us? Do we need our skates? And then I'll be like, so even me being spur of the moment really is still premeditated. I don't like staying somewhere outside of my home unless it specifically pertains to me or it piques my curiosity. So like if we're out somewhere, I'll get really bored, or I'll be like, can we leave, or can we do something else, unless there's something about it that actually makes me mentally connect. My curiosity is piqued about certain things at certain times, and generally if I do the thing, then I'm done. Like, for one, I was curious about how a building was built, and now we had our garage built, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. No, I don't care anymore. I had a curiosity about mushrooms, about fungus, about how to forage, how, like, which ones are edible, which ones aren't. And I did it. And I actually brought some home from the woods behind our house, and I cleaned them up, and I fried one up, and it was disgusting, and I was like, hey, I did it. And now I'm done. I don't need to do that anymore. Let's see what else. My special interests are rocks and minerals, gardening, indoor and outdoor, nature. I love nature, basically everything about it. I like organizing, basically anything, and I like reading. And I will read many different topics. I will actually, I think it might just be researching, not just reading, because when I get into a topic, I'll find pins, I'll find blog posts, I'll find YouTube videos, and I will read them, watch them, listen to them until I have enough, and then I'll just delete the rest. I have systems. I have written down 7 of them. 1, I have a central spot that I come back to in my home all day. I will have my journal there. I will swap it out for my list for the day. I will swap it out for what I need to get done for the day, like school papers or something like that. I have a central spot. 2, I have a specific way I organize my photos. My husband hates the way I do it, and he's a tech guy, but I don't really care that he hates the way I do it. It works for me. 3, I have snapshots of conversations organized into folders under specific titles. Like on the computer, I have snapshots of conversations. A reason I do that is sometimes I don't always get the full effect of what someone is saying. Sometimes I need to compartmentalize, and that helps me visually compartmentalize and go back and read it again because it takes me a while for something to change in my mind, a while for something to absorb into my mind because of ASD. So it actually helps that I do snapshots of conversations and organize them under titles. 4, to be able to craft, my craft space has to be cleaned up first. So I can't just go down there, move stuff out of the way, make something. No, I have to go clean up my craft area, organize everything where it should be. And then once I have a clean craft area, then I can craft. I cannot work in a cluttered space. 5, to be able to organize, I have to lay everything out in order that makes sense to me and then put them away in that order. And I have to finish the job before doing anything else. I can't come back to it and pick it up. Once I'm in it, I have to finish it. 6, when I get overwhelmed and confused, I have to brain dump, cry, prioritize, then move on. Brain dump means take my journal, write down everything I'm thinking of in the middle of my crying, blowing my nose, and then I can prioritize anything that was on that brain dump that I actually have to take action on. Then I can go back and do those things and move on. And another system I have is my nail polish. That is one of my therapeutic things, is doing my nails. And I have them color-coded. I have them in separate bins, and I took a piece of masking tape, put it on the end of each bin, and I took a nail polish and I painted it on the masking tape. So you look up at the bins, you can tell by the colors on the masking tape what colors are in that bin. I can't stand light touch. If somebody wants to touch me, I tell them either hard press, like if you're gonna kiss my cheek, don't you dare give me one of those stupid little boop. No, you need to like plant it on me or get off. If you want to hold my hand or don't touch. It's tickly. I can't stand it. It makes my skin crawl. If you're going to hug me, but ask me first. I like cotton on my skin. I like soft things. The reason I don't like recordings of live events, I prefer recorded studio music. There's too much chaos in live events. If it's going to be recorded, I want it to be clean. There are other voices. It's not consistent to the beat of the song. If it's a recording, there's a consistency to it. If it's live, they change things up and I can't follow along like I normally would. And that drives me nuts. It's not predictable. It's not crisp. It's too haphazard. Sensory input. For scent, I like candles. I've been using a lot of candles and essential oils, so that way like I can switch things out, or I can just whatever, if I need something calming, or if I'm in a, like, for the last couple days I've had this pink pomegranate candle on the table, but today I was like, I'm not into that scent. I don't want to use my oils. I swapped it out for a green fern one because I needed something earthy. I needed something grounding. Soft, fleece, cottony. I like to fidget with things because my hands always have to do something, which I really don't like. I don't like that I'm always fidgety, but I guess that's stimming. And I didn't know that until a couple years now, that I stim by touching things. Sound, I wear headphones, because if I have a day that's like just things are too loud or just normal noise is too much, I'll just wear it it'll just muffle. It doesn't block out everything, it just helps muffle it so it's not so intense. I need specific instructions to function properly with minimal anxiety. So even when I give myself something to do, I need to be specific what I mean so I can see the visual and I can comprehend it. I don't enjoy fiction very much in books. It's informal. I like informational, real movies. I prefer a good storyline. I love films about realistic happenings, even if it's not like a topic I would necessarily like. I like historical things. I don't role play because I have a hard time doing imaginary stuff. It's not real. Kind of like if somebody asked me to guess something, it's like, I work on facts, I don't work on what ifs. I don't step into silliness very well. I attempt to do back and forth joking. My husband loves it when I can actually step into that role and be silly with him. Sometimes people will use containers, like they'll take the whole lid off the container instead of using the actual flip top or shaker top or whatever it is that's supposed to be on the container. And that is very annoying. It's like, that's not how it's meant to work. You're supposed to use the lid, you're supposed to use the shaker or the pour top or the, it annoys me. Also, I like to pace when I talk. And that's a wrap. Bye, guys.